Oh, yes. Oh, oh my God. This show is being brought to you by fans. This is my last day in this room. I'm moving at the end of the month. And this room doesn't happen to have air conditioning at the moment. And what's up, 7,000? Sneaking in. What's up, TT? Hello. Hello. Halloween. No shit, man. What I'm hoping is that Donnie comes in here about half hour and he goes, bro, it looks like you're sweating. You're like, dude, 1,000,000,000 degrees in here. And Donnie's like, yeah, I thought so. I'm like, yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for your support. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. Yeah, it's like a fucking sauna. You know what? It reminds me of one of my favorite podcasts of all time. That'll be the riddle for today. This is a tough one. This is an unusually hard one. But there was a podcast. There was a podcast that probably came out about 3 or 4 years ago. Has arguably one of the very best music producers alive on it. And the person interviewing him and this producer switched from being in a really, really hot sauna and then going into like I think some sort of an ice bath, and they switched off during the fucking podcast. It was like back forth every 10 minutes. They were going back and forth, and it was sort of like an explanation of how this producer had learned how to do some crazy shit with. I guess that's like good for you to switch like between extremes. I think it's good maybe for your circulation. Hakan, thank you for bringing your fens. Oh, this is going to be gnarly. I can't even talk right now. What's up, Laura? Hakan, thank you for bringing your fens, bro. Appreciate it. Sounds miserable. Sounds pretty intense. What's up, Laura? Wow, that's like a big high, dude. Somebody's caffeinated. Thanks for bringing some peeps over. Thank you very much, Laura. This is going to be an awesome interview with that's an easy riddle. We'll do a hard riddle and then an easy riddle every single stream, at least on this stream. Like how I got myself out of that one. Worst case scenario, we do it on this stream and then we'll see. What did somebody call somebody? What's up, tacos? No problem, bro. You ready to pop in? You need a second or two? You want to hang out in the green room for a second? Like a celeb, like the celeb you are? Take your time. Let us know when you're good. It's like 2 seconds. By the way, I didn't mention this to you, Taco. Thanks for bringing your fans over, Tori. Appreciate that. What's up, Maddie? I don't know if this is the Maddie that I think it might be. It's probably not, and I'm super stoked that you're here as well. Thanks for hanging. There's a Maddie that I know that's a record producer in New York, and no, probably not. We like all kinds of music. I know that sounds like a dorky answer to your question, but there's probably a couple slices of music that I like maybe less than 100%, but I like all music. I know, I hate that answer too. It sucks when it's more or less true, because then what are you going to do? Turn off your phone, dude. That's what you're going to do. Bro, dude. I like how Taco goes in aggressive from the get. He's not even on yet. He's like, yo, dude, I fucking hate that answer. Fuck you, man. Laura's like, yeah, dude, I like this. This is getting like hot. Like shit's going to get real. It's going to be like hard questions both ways. You like rock music? Right on. Welcome, Ben. You know, there's a reason why we should do the 30-minute coffee talk beforehand, which I have not done the last couple of weeks because, dude, don't even worry about it. Just chill. What's up, Kim? This is the first time in the history of my life where I'm actually watching the stream and I feel like I'm right locked into the stream. Like I can actually read shit and I can be like, oh, that just happened. And then I'm like, oh, that just happened. And I'm like, it's not like, fuck. What do I say? But here's what's going to be interesting is when Taco comes on, I'll be like, what did you just say? I didn't hear that part. Because we all know multitasking pulls your brain into all these different places. What's up? Oh, you came with Kim? Right on. Kim raid. Let's do this. Kim brought some raiders. She brought some peeps. Aww. Gracias. Man, anyone who's rolling in with Kim is good people. For sure, for sure. So let me zoom in a little bit so I can actually see, because these are some new names. Blake, Tiger Music, Muskie. I'll get there. All right, Taco's ready. Yeah, this stream is totally brought to you by Kim and fans. By the way, honest answer, Tori, can you hear fans in the background? Does it sound like I'm outside of a Boeing 747? What's up, T? Thanks for bringing your fans in. Let's do it. Essence, thank you, bro. What's up, Taco?
I'm covered in sweat.
Dude, I could say a lot of things right now that all of them would be inappropriate. So I'll just say dude and then a pregnant pause. And it's just like right on. I'm right there with you.
Oh.
Thank you for the likes, Essence. Yo, not to get weird right up front, because I think this is the first time you've ever been to our podcast. But first off, thanks for bringing your fans. Appreciate you.
Anytime.
And also, Essence, thank you for bringing your fans. Love your shit, man. I slipped into one of your podcasts recently and super enjoyed it, and I love what you're up to. So, Kim, thank you for bringing your fans. Taco, yeah, everybody, dude, talk about hydrating. Let's do a drinking game. Let's do a drinking game with whatever's in the bottle, and let's do cheers to that.
Cheers.
And every time we say something that's mildly inappropriate, or anybody messages something, we'll just say.
I'm always telling my viewers to hydrate. So.
Oh, I thought you were telling them to be inappropriate. I was like, this is going to be so fucking awesome.
I'm mixed between inappropriate and take life by the balls motivation. I think it's a great mix to have, you know.
That's exactly where I am too, man.
Love that. Well, thank you so much for having me on today. We had a month in advance, and I had it in my calendar, and I was like, yep, that's ready. I'm ready for that. And then I go out on a run, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be. So I got my first 5K in the last 3 months because of you. Thank you so much.
What?
Yes, sir.
No way, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do them all the time, but now it's like lockdown, you know. So.
Are you guys in stage 4-ish?
Oh, God knows. I don't know. I'm in stage. I've been in this room for the last 5 months, and I've only left to go to the store, and that's
I thought you were gonna say I only left to go to the shitter, and I'm like, wow, like shit.
That as well. But I mean that.
That would be a hell of a story. I've been in here for 5 months, and all I do is.
I know. So I have met some people on YouNow with health conditions that haven't been able to leave for 3, 4, 5 months because of their conditions and stuff. My grandma is one of the ones that's chosen to do that.
Okay.
Her own thing, you know. She's like, I ain't leaving. Leaving. So she's staying where she is. And always have done, but now she's accepting visitors, which I don't know how that works, Nan, but you know, So
it's a very strange time. Like my mom will hang out with our niece for a day, and then none of her friends will want to hang out with her for 2 weeks because the possibility that she might have picked something up, and it's like I don't know. It's I guess we're just realizing how connected we all are to like every other person and how everything else works. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a very interesting time, isn't it? Very, very interesting time.
Yeah, and so this is kind of funny. It's like one talk show douchebag talking to another talk show douchebag.
Pretty much.
And that was actually a seg because I feel like, you know, most of the time we talk about music-ish stuff. We talk about like, what are you doing with your music? What are you doing with your live stream? And I'm super stoked to talk to you about what are you doing with this talk show that you started pretty recently.
Yes.
And Jesus Christ, if you look back over the last 100 years, when would be a good time to start a talk show so that people can talk about shit? Right now, you know, would probably be. So what has it been like having a talk show right now?
It's kind of been like a transformative process. I mean, with getting bums in seats to say, it was a little bit difficult because of the time and just I find that not everyone wants to talk on a very wide conscious level about world issues or world debates or lockdown in general on a deeper thought. So it's been a bit of a haggle to get the right people in and the right people interested, because I think when people think so much about what's going on right now, they start to lose their minds. So everyone sort of gets buried in materialistic things and sort of, you know, which is fine, but it's just I feel like I wanted to start talking about the change and the changes happening with everything, not just lockdown, with the movements going on at the moment, and everything changing, politics. And I feel like as a person of the UK, a citizen of England, I feel it was a bit rude to just sort of, everyone else is in the country is just watching the US burn, and it's like, we can't just be spectators to this. You know, we sort of need to talk about it on our own level. And something I've been a big advocate recently for is the Black Lives Matter movement. And so many people, when I talk about it on YouNow, are like, "Oh, you're in the UK, you don't have to worry, there's not racism there." And I'm like, excuse me, sir. We started it. We started racism, and we need to stomp it out in this country too. So it's been very interesting. It's been a very interesting process, and it's a nice break from the music. But you know, we're always sort of changing around, yeah.
So and Donnie, I saw you slide in there. Thanks for bringing your fans. Thanks for being here, man. I'm super glad you're here today. You mentioned something a second ago about like I kind of wanted to roll in with this show, and it sounded. Were you a little disappointed that people that were popping in or watching in the initial couple of weeks? I think it's been going for a couple of weeks. Were you sort of disappointed that people weren't ready to lean into like real discussions or thoughtful discussions, and they just kind of wanted to like chill?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, especially with my content. This is the thing I'm learning about being a content creator. Having one niche of a style of content, like my thing being music, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone that listens to music is going to want to talk about all these crazy things, you know.
True.
And so I kind of expected it, but after I think it was yesterday's one. Yeah, yesterday's one went really well.
Great.
And I mean, I also added, it might be something to do with shaving my face for likes. I think that might have triggered
I'm having
some
feelings
views
for you right now, and I was wondering why, and I'm like, maybe it's because you shaved.
Yep. Clean boy.
Oh, we got a little close up. That was
so.
that was a lot. That was a lot for me just then.
Yeah. So. That's exciting, but I think I'm sort of gonna reel it in a bit, I think. And,
so what was different? Hey, Chris, saw you slide in there. Thank you for bringing your fans. Appreciate you, and good to see you again, dude. What was different about yesterday's show? I I think this is going to sound like an asshole thing to say, but like I really did have an intention to pop on yesterday. Obviously, but I wasn't able to. And when I came onto your channel again, I think you had wrapped up. What was different about yesterday? Was there anything in particular that you're like, oh, I noticed this happened and it seemed to go in a more interesting direction?
I'd say it was the humor of the content of the broadcast. I started off on just let's just chill out and not expect anything. I think when we expect things in life, it's the worst thing, because it's like everyone has an expectation and nothing goes exactly how anyone plans, you know. So I dropped all my expectations, dropped all my ego about the broadcast, and just said, okay, I'm going to start off just being my usual self and just chatting away with my viewers, getting people engaged, and then go on to a bit more of a serious content. And it's sort of like a balance between going deep and coming out and being funny, and then and maybe doing a little bit of music in between, you know. So I found that's the perfect formula. Instead of going straight in, like the first one, I went super deep straight away and screen shared videos of the history of slavery and things like this. And I'm like, no one wanted to see that. There was some real ones in there. There was like there was a good 10 to sort of 14 people in there like paying attention and stuff. But then it's like, you know, and there was no, like, it was too dark. It was too deep and too dark to really get people engaged and get people like, you know, sustain the viewership. So I've sort of, it's been a learning process. But yesterday, it was a definite great balance between humor and deep thought and different things. You know, so.
Amazing. Did you play music at all yesterday?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did quite a few songs myself. And then I talked a little bit, and like I say, then I shaved for like 20 minutes on the stream.
Tori has a great question. How do you prepare that content, and like how do you think about what you want to maybe discuss on each stream?
Usually I'll do like a Instagram story reply, you know, like you can ask a question on the Instagram stories, and I'll put that up a day before and say, hey, anyone want to ask a question? And then I'll choose a few different topics out of that, or I'll see what's going on in the world, and kind of base it around that and have more of like a reaction kind of thing. Like a couple of times I have done reaction videos to sort of things, but I feel like, again, that's a bit too, like, some of the stuff that I've shown is kind of, I wouldn't say graphic, but it's like trigger warning worthy stuff, you know. Yeah. So when you're preparing,
you're probably looking at current events a lot. Obviously, right? Just like, oh, this happened, or this, maybe it doesn't have to be hyper current, but maybe just something like a thoughtful spin on something.
Yeah, and then usually with the
Tori and I are like very relevant current stuff.
Yeah, with the Instagram thing, that's definitely a hit if you give it a good amount of time to sort of get people to reply, and you know, I find that's the most important thing, is getting people engaged, and adding value to viewers before sort of saying, oh, watch me, you know, like, and not adding any sort of engagement to them.
It's probably easier for them to be part of the discussion if they have a minute to think about it or reflect, or even if they're doing it subconsciously, they're like, by the time they slide in, they're like, oh yeah, so this one's about blah blah blah, and like they have something that has prepared them. They're not just like, oh, we're going to talk about so and so today. It might be
for sure, yeah.
So it's interesting you mentioned comedy. I mean, okay, let me ask a question that was kind of on my mind yesterday too about what you do, which is, and you kind of alluded to it a second ago, like, I'm primarily a music streamer, which was one of my questions, right? Like, do you see yourself as a music streamer that's kind of doing like an experiment in a way, or a kind of a side thing, or an expansion into the news thing? Do you not even look at it that way?
I'd say it's vice versa, maybe the other way around. Hi, Nicole. I've just shouted you out on my Instagram stories, but hopefully a few people come from Instagram.
Hey, Nicole.
I'd say that
what's up, right?
I'm definitely more of like because my background is, for the last couple of years, I've traveled around the world and everything, and I ran a marketing agency for the last couple of years. So
I didn't know that.
I didn't do anything to do with music. I just bought a guitar when I moved from a market stall and didn't play it for 3 months and then picked one up. I'm talking like 2 years ago. So I haven't been playing or singing at all for a very long time. Then I sort of did that as a hobby on the side. I never took any lessons or anything, but I worked on marketing and running my business and just finding myself traveling. As cliche as it sounds, it is a true thing. Anyone that's traveled will know that that's true. And then I came back to the UK after living in the US for a while. And then that's when I picked up YouNow. It wasn't a goal to be a musician streamer or anything like that. I just guested with a lot of people, and they saw my guitar in the back, and they said, like, can you play me a song or whatever? And people ended up liking it, like I was telling the story today on my stream. And then I just started streaming and doing music and doing open mics. But so this is why I feel like a lot of the interesting sort of stuff like that is coming through the talk showy kind of stuff, because it's the other way round. Deep down, I'm more of a talker and more of a interviewee kind of person. Yep. And really all everyone sees is the musician side of me, but really it's more like I'm a bit of an entrepreneur, you know, and that's my kind of vision for myself. So I feel I'm not gonna change the music, but I'm just gonna bleed a little bit of that business side of me through, and that kind of deep thought, kind of higher consciousness kind of style content through as well, through what I do in a way. So I follow Taco for the stash. No, I don't. What can I do?
Yeah, that's what brought me in too, is the stash. And the clean with the stash to me is like, it's too much to even handle. Sunray, thank you for bringing your friends. Nicole, thank you for bringing your friends.
Yes, Tori.
Yeah, if you guys have either questions for, thanks, Superman. Thanks for bringing your friends in. If you have questions for Mr. Taco, I know that's your real official legal name.
Yep, on my birth certificate.
so if you have questions, maybe backstory questions, what kind of an entrepreneur, what kind of marketing, what kind of topics would you like to see or hear covered, you're absolutely welcome. Thank you, Essence. What's your real name, Taco?
It's Ewan. Ewan. I tried to keep it secret on YouNow for a while, but I'm like, you know what? I went through a phase of not wanting to be Taco anymore, because I was thinking about, well, I am going to record some music next month. Cool. That's how you spell it. I've just put it in the chat. That's my real name. And the name Taco Ray came from a guy on here, because within my first month on YouNow, it sort of was a bit of a snowball. I ended up getting Editor's Choice for some reason, and I grew a lot being Editor's Choice. And this is back in the day when they only had 7 people on Editor's Choice, my name was Ewan at the time, I'm pretty sure. No, it wasn't actually. Before that, I was Ewan. And then I think as soon as I got Editor's Choice, I was like, oh, hell no, I don't want like everyone to see my name, you know. So I went to a guy that was called
Do you mind if I ask why? Why didn't you want people to see your name?
I don't know, because I didn't really know what I was doing on YouNow.
Yeah.
I didn't really know.
Stay anonymous until you figure out what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. And then with like I say, with the marketing and things like that behind me, I had more of like a business name. And then to come and stream with random people on the internet, everything's being recorded at once. Like, it's like I could say some crazy stuff and this could get back, like, which just happened. But yeah, Ray, there was a guy called Curry, and that was his birth name, Curry. And I was like, Curry, give me a name. I want to be named a food like you. What can I be called? And he was like, oh, Taco. And then I said, oh, maybe Tacospice.
I love Tacospice.
So it wasn't anything to do with tacos. Like, I don't think I'd had tacos before, of course, but not like as much as I do now. And I used to do a Taco Tuesday stream where I would make tacos and eat them on stream. But then that kind of got in the way of the open mics, which is really what sort of snowballed everything. Hi, Sophella.
Hey, Sophella.
Yeah.
So it was the open mic. Would you say it was the open mic that kind of like cracked it open initially?
100%, 100 million %.
And how did those work? Was that just you saying, is it kind of like what Erica does or Kim does? Just like, hey guys, line up, here's what we're going to do a song. How did you format it?
No, it was more like, it was genuinely just a mess, but a beautiful mess.
Yeah.
Because it was like, okay, Soph, come up, Ray, come up, Mr. G, come up, anyone come up, like, and sing. If you can sing, just come up and sing for us, and we'll just go around in circles for hours. And I would do like 4, 5, 7 hours streams, and it was just people constantly coming through and guesting, and because people are guesting, their fans are watching them, you know.
Right.
And it was just sort of, I owe all of my YouNow success to everyone that's guested with me, because that's how it is. There's not really one, there's only kind of a few people that have just come up in the last month or two that haven't actually guested with me. Kim hasn't guested with me. I think obviously Emma McGann hasn't guested with me, but everyone else, everyone on your show.
7,000 has 7,000.
Yeah,
okay.
We did a show
they said it sounds so fun.
Yeah, and that's what the early days were like, and it was just like these amazing talents just coming through that built up the confidence to come on and sing. And I have some amazing captured moments of people that have just disappeared off the platform that were just incredible, because it's just not what they were looking to do. But that's what the open mic days were about. It was just like anyone come up, and am I any chance Muslim? No, but I speak the tiniest bit of Arabic.
Really?
Assalamu alaikum.
Is that from traveling? Did you pick something up traveling, or?
I wouldn't say it's from traveling. I mean, it's more, I don't know. I just know greetings in Arabic.
So I saw some pretty incredible pictures on your Instagram, maybe from a week ago-ish or something. It seems like you've been traveling a bit recently. Like, where have you been in the last little bit?
In the last week. Oh, okay. So I've been down to the coast in the UK. I mean, I went through a very hateful relationship with the UK. I just didn't want to be here. I didn't want to be with any of the people here. And I just never traveled anywhere in the UK.
Why did you want to get out of the UK?
I think I just
weird. But...
I was very uneducated on the perception of understanding people, and the people in the UK who have different views or a closed-minded mindset. It's like I can't tarnish everyone with the same brush. But before I went traveling, that's what I was doing. I was like, okay, people in this area are like this. People in this area think like this. I think so much like deeper and bloody. But everyone has their own personality. Everyone's been through their own experience, and that's what I now realize after traveling. But before, I dropped out of school, you know, and at 15, and I don't have any high school qualifications or anything. And I just didn't get along with the system in the UK and the people and well, I got along with my parents, but I was just like, I don't want to be here, you know. So that's what made me go to the US when I was 18. But now I've come back, and we've gone. My mum is obsessed with the beach, so we're always at some beach somewhere every other week, and it's really nice. Went yesterday, I think, or the day before, we went to Bournemouth, a place in the UK, which is just lovely. Like, there's so many beaches.
There was one shot of like some sort of little like a rock.
This one, yeah, I just got it up to try and remember what you were talking about. Yeah, that's called Durdledor. Durdledor, yeah, it's a really iconic place in the UK, and it's somewhere that's always been on my bucket list, but I just never sort of went. Yeah, so I'll just remind me. Yeah, so the UK is interesting. I still don't want to stay here though, for sure.
So you traveled to the US. Was that a big deal for you? Have you traveled other places outside of the UK and the US that were important for you, that kind of allowed you to explore
apart from Slovenia for a weekend? That was the first place I ever went. So traveling is a huge part of my life, and I've always wanted to do it, and I am still trying to do it as much as I can. So Slovenia, I went we moved out of London. I moved out of London with my parents at 17. And they gave me a choice. They was like, oh, do you want to stay here? And when I dropped out of school at 15, my dad was like, listen, you need to get a job or you go back to school. So I was like, okay, I'll get a job. And I got a job in a restaurant, obviously doing dishes, and started from the bottom and ended up working my way all the way up to a hotel manager at 18. And when we moved at that point, my parents gave me the option, but my dad, it's a whole nother story. My dad had a heart attack, and it sort of caused a lot of stress in London, and we wanted to get out of the city, cliche, and we moved out to where we are now. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, and sort of more of a farmland kind of area. And I kind of, as soon as we got here, there was no Wi-Fi in the house, there was no service, there was nothing, and I was like, coming from London, I'm like, hell no, like this is not it. So I took the last, I think, £200 that I had from my last paycheck and went on an app called Lucky Trip, which is like a spin your wheel kind of all-in-one inclusive holiday package thing. And I spun this wheel once and it landed on Slovenia. And it was like, okay, we'll book your flight. Yeah, it was a bit like Trivago. We'll book your flight, we'll do the cab thing, we'll book your hostel. And this was the first thing I'd ever done. I think it was the first time I'd ever traveled anywhere on my own. Wow. So I went to Slovenia for a weekend and then came back. And then while I was there, I figured out that traveling was kind of the thing that I wanted to do. And I decided to look at Instagram and see what was going on. And you got to remember, 2017, 2018 was the time and the pinnacle for travel influencers. And they were lifestyle
marketers, travel the world,
Maldives and everywhere like this. And I was like, okay. And then you see all these people with sponsored ads when sponsored ads just came out on Instagram, and it was like, oh, like buy our course and we'll teach you how to travel full time, you know, and you can travel anywhere you want and just make money. And it was like, okay, why can't I do this, you know? So instead of taking one of these courses, I just messaged. I remember being up from 8 p.m. at night until 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning, non-stop messaging travel influencers and people that were that had Instagram profiles that were like traveling, and saying, hey, I see what you're doing. Are you interested in joining a big fat group chat full of people that are also traveling, just to create sort of a network, a little group that we can talk to each other about? And I, within about 2 days of constantly messaging people all night, because I'm still most productive in the middle of the night. It's the most annoying thing, but it works. So I'm constantly messaging these people, and within 2 days I had about 50 people in this one WhatsApp group chat. And
so these 50 people are like basically travel influencers that you've pinged out of however many thousand that you reached out to. And these 50 are like, yeah, we're down to start in a group that you're creating.
My pitch was that you can join this group chat, and if you want to promote your Instagram page, then you put your post in there and we'll all agree to comment on your picture and share it. Because I found the common denominator with these travel influencers is that the ones that weren't getting the brand deals, they wanted to grow, and they wanted to grow their following, and they wanted to grow their personal brand, you know. And it kind of turned into this whole engagement group of 50 or so people. And for about a month, it was like, okay, we're just doing this. And then I decided to give it a name, which was Travel Gauge, and it turned into sort of more of a brand. And then at that time, I got in touch with a guy that was in New Zealand that had a very interesting system of gaining people Instagram followers. And he was like, look, this is how we can get Instagram followers for people, genuine Instagram followers, real people to just follow back. And that's all the system was. It was following people and people would follow you back sort of thing, but just on automation basis. And again, this was back in the day when you were allowed to go into the back of Instagram's API and you could do that kind of thing, but now they've stopped that. So we were offering it to people in the group chat and saying, look, you can either pay this or we can do this as a group for this kind of service. And it turned into a bit of a service-based travel kind of engagement, kind of Instagram, kind of central business. And at this stage, I met a girl who became my girlfriend at a later stage, who was working at a media agency in New York. She was on an internship, and she said to me, hey, this company over here, they're being paid to get Instagram followers from social media ads, and it's really not working. I think you should email this agency and see if they want to pay for your service. So I'm sitting here at 18 on my parents' couch on a small little HP laptop, and like, okay, let me email the CEO of this huge agency in New York from this little farmland where I am, and see if she's interested. So I sent her this little email proposing as the founder of Travel Gauge when I had no business experience. Like I told you, I dropped out of school at 15. I had to.
You had business experience. That was a business, and you started it.
Yeah.
But go on.
Yeah, no, I emailed this woman and she replied and was like, yeah, I'd love to hear your idea. You should come and meet us. And I'm like,
shit.
Yeah, I have no money. I just spent money on Slovenia. I have
and that was my last 200
funds at all. I don't drive. I don't do this and that. Like, I'm a nobody kid. Like, and I'm like, you know what? What have I got to lose at this point? And I told my parents, look, I've been talking to this girl for like a couple of months. She seemed all right. We've started this group. It's like, it is what it is, and now we've got this CEO that has offered to have a meeting with me, but I have no money. What do you think I should do? And my dad tried to convince me that this girl, was trying to con me in some way, and I was like, well, on paper it doesn't look like that. So I convinced my parents to lend me £250. And I packed my suitcase, and within 2 weeks of telling my parents, I went to New York. And stayed in Hoboken, New Jersey, which is like fake New York, and it's just like the Hudson away from Manhattan.
I hope
so.
Llama is in. Do you know Lady Llama? Do you know Llama?
Yes, yeah.
Llama is sort of right outside New York, but I don't think she's in at the moment. I always clown on her because I'm like, where you know, when we first connected, I'm like, where are you at? And she's like, New Jersey. And I'm like, dude, it's right outside New York. So you're right. Anyway, go ahead. Hoboken. So you're in Hoboken.
Yeah, I'm in Hoboken, and it's crazy because I remember crying on the planes. I was like, what the hell is going on?
Like crying because crazy. You were nervous or excited, or just everything,
every piece of excitement, like all on the good side. But it was like excitement, like shock, like holy crap! Like I've been through so much, like. As a younger kid, sort of like teens, I had some trauma with a friend taking their own life, unfortunately, and it really messed me up mentally, you know. And I just didn't really know what direction I was going in. But I think that just molded me as a person to sort of travel and get out and experience things in the world, you know. And so I'm on this plane. I got there, and within a month. I walked into this agency and walked out with a fat check that they gave me as I came through with a PowerPoint of how this system was going to work. We
how
got
surreal, right? You're like doing a PowerPoint presentation with some big ad agency in New York City because you.
Isaac, thank you. Yeah, it was pretty surreal, and the agency was crazy. It was like this whole like outlook of Manhattan. It was just so like surreal. And like I said, we got them on a retainer, and then as soon as I landed the deal with them, I decided to kind of turn it into more of like a marketing agency, because I was like, okay, I tried to figure out the field as much as I could. And I was like, right, I can't really propose myself as a travel agency. Let me just tell them that I'm a marketing agency and I offer this service for social media. And like I say, luckily my partner at the time was she was all about marketing. That was her degree. She was studying at ASU, so it was like, okay, I'm not completely uneducated in this field. I have someone that's kind of studying it, and that's if anyone tries to test me, I'll be like, okay, ASU, degree and stuff. So it just sort of snowballed from there, because we had a couple of people off the bat of that contact our Instagram page and just be like, hey, can we look into your services and things like that. And it just really snowballed over the space of 3 months, my first stint in America, of just like doing sort of Instagram services and helping people grow as brands and getting brand deals and creating websites for people. So it really took off from there. But I was on an ESTA visa in the US, so I had to come back to the UK, and then I went back. So I went back and forth between sort of like 8 months to a year, back and forth. And then, yeah, I mean, that was a whole thing, and that lasted a couple of years up until maybe the start of lockdown, when they started to tell everyone to return to their home countries. It was like, okay, what do we do now? And then my partner decided to go back to the US because she was a citizen of the US. And then, so that happened. But there's some space that I'll leave a gap there on that, on how that ended. But it ended, and I'm starting a new media agency on the 1st of September.
Amazing.
And launching that. I'll be doing my chess shop then too, and launching that. And so
let's definitely, I want to let you talk about that. I just wanted to retroactively say thank you to Icy and to Lauren. Thank you. I wanted to let you, I feel like you were on a roll, and I'm just curious, anybody else stream right now kind of heard that backstory? I mean, have you shared all of that shit about where this
Not really.
From? Okay.
Not really.
Right on. So look, dude, it's super cool that you're doing that. I think it's kind of interesting to people to hear like where you came from and what you're doing. So Donnie has a question. Yeah, how did the music come back into it? Was that something that you just started doing? And I definitely want to give you some space to talk about the September 1st, but like, how did the music come back in?
So that was like I say, it was a hobby. It was a hobby to sing and play over that time as a therapeutic sort of go-to. And then, like I say, it wasn't until I started YouNow that I really got into music. And I guessed it with a couple of people, as I said, and people said, "Oh, like sing us a song, blah blah," and
what was do you remember your first musical performance on YouNow?
It was definitely about 5 months ago, 5.5 months ago. There was a guy that was streaming. He's in the army. He's still still kind of on here, but he's based in South Korea. I'm really good friends with him now. I mean, he just sort of gave me a few songs to learn, and I learned them, and sort of, I think that's where my country influence comes from, is him, because he's from Alabama. And he gave me these songs to learn, and I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
And yeah, Luke Coates. I'm just going to grab my laptop, right? It's just behind here.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree, 7,000. It's pretty crazy. You've done a lot at 20. You've kind of experienced a lot and done a lot in your life.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about this.
No, it's all good. So, by the way, we're 17 minutes out. So I just wanted, do you want to do a song? Do you want to play something?
Sure. Yeah. I'll be happy to do that.
Do we want to talk about the next stage of your marketing empire, or do you want to play a song first? What do you feel?
I mean, I can play a song out if you wanted, or
we can do it that way.
Yeah.
Like whatever. I'm open. You can play a couple songs. Like
Okay.
Everyone that's probably on here that knows your music is a big fan of your music, and we're probably all going, dude, when is he gonna play something? So why don't you want to let's hear some music, and then we'll come back and hear some more marketing stuff.
No problem. That's fine. I'll do an original that I just wrote.
Love it.
Recently, I wrote this on stream, but thanks to Amelie and Jonathan, 7K apart, who actually sort of kind of taught me to write, I guess, in one sort of call. I'm sure they've got lots more tips. I never really wrote anything formally. And then this sort of happened, this song. This song is about how... so there's some pictures on my wall here, right? And the song is called Pictures on My Wall. And it's about these pictures on my wall. And I had, in 2017, when I was 17, I used to do photography when I was about 15, 16. And I decided 2017 was just going to be a year of taking pictures with disposable cameras.
Those are photographs?
These are all photographs on disposable, taken on disposable cameras.
Could you take a screenshot of those? That would be so cool.
There's a guy asleep in a tent.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so there's all these crazy times in these pictures. And like I keep saying, it was a very experimental year for me.
Thank you.
You know, I tried weed for the first time and drank beer and done all the sort of teenage things, you know.
Yeah.
And the song is kind of about that. Yeah. So.
Well, props to 7000 for opening up the floodgates. We love them so much, and we have so much respect for what they're doing musically and otherwise. We love them a lot. So, hashtag 7000, y'all. And if you are not fans of this gentleman, please, please, please fan this guy up. Check out his music. You will not regret it. And also 7000 for sure.
We don't make memories like we used to. We all went our separate ways. Getting high out in the open as a beat bled through our veins. All my friends, I hope they're okay. Meeting again, there'll be lots to say. Wishing for good times like these again. Looking back, we made no mistakes. Fresh cut roses and taking pills. Summer 17 made me feel. Drinking booze and smoking weed, that's all it ever was to me. City lights and starry skies, clubbing hard and petty fights. I must confess, the pictures on my wall make me miss summer 17. The pictures on my wall, summer 17. The pictures on my wall, summer 17. No one knows what the future holds. For now it's me and these strings. I hope we can make another year like the one when I was 17. I've learned so much in so few years. I'm trying to make sense to what it's worth. I know what all these good times have taught me. to live your life and not look back. Have some fun while it lasts. Enjoy this time, but don't live in the past. 'Cause it's fresh cut roses and lots of frills. And this year will make you feel like there's a big fat future waiting for you. You'll do the things you always wanted to. Take your time and don't think fast. Tell all the haters they can kiss your ass. Don't work hard and just relax. 'Cause I must confess, the pictures on my wall make me miss summer 17. Pictures on my wall, summer 17. Oh, the pictures on my wall made me miss summer 17.
Give some love to Taco.
Put it on country radio. I'll
Yeah,
sing
we're
the
gonna put on some
7X.
country radio. So was that,
Hey, guys, thank you.
was that one of your first songs you've written? Did I understand that right? Or did I misunderstand that?
I mean, it's definitely not the first song I've written.
Maybe it's more
Probably-
like this is the first formal song that I kind of thought through. Okay, this is going to be a song. What is this going to be? How should
Yeah.
we go? Okay,
Yeah,
got
sure. It
No.
was the first like structured since I don't know. It was just Amelie just sort of telling me that like, okay, here's a verse, then the chorus, then a verse,
Right.
then the verse, and then pre-chorus and all this sort of structured stuff. And it was like
Right.
before then I was just like, okay, 4 chords and that's it. And
Way to
so
go,
it's like
Amelie.
repetitive stuff. So I love you back more. So yeah, I mean that was kind of, it's probably the first one, but like I say, I've still got to learn to play with a metronome because I want to record some stuff, but I just can't play with a metronome, which I need to learn if I want to.
You got a big fan of your shirt right now. His name is Donnie. I just want to put that out there just to make it a little.
I'm a big shirt wearer. I've got a lot of frilly shirts. I don't like wearing a lot of clothes.
By the way, I for what it's worth, I mean, I don't know who you listen to or who influences you musically or the kind of thing that you'd like to do with the recordings, but I don't necessarily think the style of music that I've heard you doing requires a metronome or would even benefit from a metronome.
Okay.
Just saying it because I think it depends on the kind of music and how you want to approach it and how you want it to end up, and also probably what other instrumentation you want to layer in that needs to get locked in some sort of pulse. But for Americana, country, whatever you want to call it, folk, wherever you want to call it, you know, the kind of stuff that the reason why Tori's saying there's a vibe in the room and like the reason why people are responding to music is largely because it's doing this, I think, and it's allowing you to be in there and do things with it. And I think if you were doing it to a metronome, that might push against part of the feeling of the. That's just my, I don't know, just an idea.
Yeah, I mean, well, every little helps. Like I say, I've not learned anything. I've never taken any lessons. So that's the funny thing is just sort of working it out to get to the stage of trying to put something out, at least on Spotify. You know, I'm sort of amateur when it comes to that kind of stuff. So.
Do you have a way to record? Do you have Logic or anything?
Oh yeah. I've got
Dope.
I've got Logic and GarageBand and a mixer and an interface and
amazing.
all this
Well,
stuff.
we can't wait to hear some more music, and it's super cool. I'm trying to keep up with the chat a little bit. Live, it does help. I also like Kim's idea of like, I don't know if it's feasible at the moment exactly to have like a couple people in a room playing or tracking later, but like if you had like just maybe bass and drums or whatever, I think that can work too. Who are some, let me ask it another way, like who are some maybe artists somewhat in the vein of that song that you like and admire their records?
I've got a very, very small group of people that I listen to for influences. I will listen to anything sort of in the background of my streams and stuff, but when it comes to actually, okay, I'm trying to program myself a bit here and trying to get that influence, I definitely say Tyler Childers and Luke Combs. And there's also a guy who really isn't that big, but he's from Oklahoma, called Zach Bryan. He's a YouTube guy. He's sort of getting there, like getting the attention that he deserves. But he's definitely, his writing style is amazing. And I mean, Tyler Childers, Luke Combs, and Zach Bryan together, in my opinion, have never written a bad song, or at least that they've put out. So those guys are definitely people that I listen to sort of get my influence, really.
Amazing. Yeah. Songs changed from, yeah. Right on. So, wow, shit, we only have six minutes remaining. Do you want to, so again, for those of you that have not or are not following Taco, please fan him up. Please check out his streams. So give us a little taste of, do you have like a schedule at the moment as far as how your music works, how the Taco talk show works?
The talk show, I'm going to change the time of. It's an awful time. Logistically, it's an awful time to be streaming at that time, 2 p.m. Eastern. I mean, everyone's doing something at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is in 5 minutes, isn't it?
Right.
And
that's why we picked it. That's why we stream right now.
Like...
We wanted to make it like, why the fuck are they streaming right now? Right in the middle of the day. Exactly. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah. I personally, I for me and my viewers that I've sort of built up over the time, it's like they're always busy at that time. So I usually do. I get the night owls. I get the 6 a.m. Easterns, the 12 p.m. UK time. That's when I do my music streams. And I want to start doing crazy open mics again, and build the momentum up of those. But I've sort of once I got partnered on YouNow, it was like viewership just went down, and it was like, okay, what's going on here? But it was because I was streaming later on in the day, and I didn't really consider timing. So I've just stripped everything back and gone to how I used to be when I first came on the platform, and that's when things really went uphill. And they of course pick back up. So I'm doing 6 a.m. Eastern to usually around sort of 9-10 a.m. Eastern. That's when I'm doing my music streams. And I'll probably change the talk show to that time too, just on a Thursday. I feel like...
Are your music streams more or less every day-ish, or are there certain days?
Oh, yeah, every day pretty much, unless I'm at the beach with my mum.
Why every day? Is that important? For
No, I just feel like I'm just trying to grind, you know. I'm trying to get the fans in, trying to get in front of a lot of people and trying to talk to a lot of people and get to know everyone. And really sort of, like I say, guest with everyone. And I feel like, not to blow smoke up my own arse, but a lot of people have come on my broadcast and said, oh, I was so not confident up until coming and guesting with you. And now there's people that are going for partnership that are singers that first guested with me. You know, there was
amazing.
Again, like I think, did you have Courtney? I don't know if you know Courtney May Official. She was in Erica's competition. A couple of people that were in Erica's competition had guested with me on my open mics, and then sort of went to strive for bigger things on the platform. So it's and that's what I love about it. I love giving people a platform to feel comfortable in a comfortable space, and knowing that people aren't going to be judged. Like I said, there was people that don't refer to themselves as singers, but they would come on and they're incredible. You know, and that was how I started. You know what I mean? So I want to offer that back to people, and if I can do that, then so that's my streams, and that's my
Courtney has popped in a few times, and Tori, I've noticed her, and if I'm remembering correctly, and forgive me if this is not accurate, but there were 3 finalists in Erica's thing about 2 weeks ago, and there was one, like a young lady that was like 14 or 15. Is that Courtney?
Yeah. No, that's not Courtney. No, that's Ellie, I think her name is. she's
I remember there were
she's
3, and
she's
I listened
hidden
to them
from
all
my
briefly.
radar. Ellie's ducked from my radar.
Okay.
She's never guested with me before.
Okay.
Ellie, that's another one. Lydia, Lydia's Lydia's amazing. And there was.
I remember listening to all 3 of them and being like, damn. But it's interesting. Like, I do want to give you a chance to do the marketing thing. We'll push. Can we? Oh, you have your stream that starts in 2, right?
Mine.
Yeah. Do you have?
Oh no, that's
now?
no.
Oh, okay,
no,
that's so. Let's.
yesterday.
Are you cool if we push past official time?
Yeah, of course.
Bit?
Yeah,
okay.
no, I'm more than happy to. Yeah.
So, dude, the thing that you talked about is one of my favorite things about YouNow that I've discovered in the last few weeks. Even we started in March. We still don't know what we're doing. Tori and I, meaning Tori and I, like we just moved into this because live streaming seems very fascinating. It seems like something that the music industry, I'm a journalist, I've worked in the industry for a little bit, and I just wanted to move into it and find out what's going on. And I figured, well, sort of like you, like, what can I do in this space? Well, I can sort of create a platform for people to talk about what they're doing that's working, so everyone can find out what's working.
Yeah.
And the whole industry cannot be so in such a shit show a year from now, because it's going to be real bad. It's going to get worse and worse, I think, as far as the music industry is concerned, the traditional how the music industry works.
Yeah.
And so the more these kinds of communities can say, okay, well, this is working, try this, do this, I think it's a really imperative and really, really great space that exists here. But what's fascinating to me is so many people, like, God, I just think about people that have told me, you know, I just started doing freestyling. Like, what? I just started learning how to play guitar, didn't sing before I started on YouNow. Like,
that's me.
It's more common than not that really talented musical artists and streamers and all that, whatever other hats you might be wearing, like, didn't do it until 6 months ago, 3 months ago, a year. And like, why is it, if someone went and did an open mic at a club for 3 months, they wouldn't get good that fast. They just wouldn't.
Because we're playing every day.
Is that what it is?
Every single day. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, I have so much respect. I was thinking about some of the stuff I wanted to talk with you about, or like how I would answer certain questions that I would imagine you asked me, and this was maybe one of the ones I imagined, I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
And I definitely say that we musicians on YouNow, we're on here every single day, and we're singing every single day. So forget me, but some of the other streamers that do sing every day, the amount of songs that they know is crazy. So that's a start. Is like the amount of knowledge that they have on just like performing different songs, how they go up and down, and just sort of muscle memory. And I feel like that's one thing, is because it's a lot of anxiety as well, first streaming, and then after a month you're like, okay, this is I like I say, I know people that would come on my stream and be like, oh, like some people be like this, like
I do see some of that. Yeah.
Can I just sit?
And I respect that.
Like,
and, you know,
and then a month later they're like, like
Totally.
they're crazy, you know. So
Totally.
and that's from consistency every single day, you know. So for sure, I think that's the case with open mics, IRL and in bars and stuff. You're doing it maybe once a week, like.
There's a lot of really cool comments that are coming from like some great music people here. So I want to mention some of them. First off, Lux, thank you for bringing some fans over. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. Kim, we can learn from each other rather than all doing the same experiments. I think that's really big. You can't go somewhere physically and have 100 people there in an instant. So there's this kind of instant community that can form. And I think what's also helpful is I love that there's a lot of different music people kind of running around together. Oh, they're going to do something. Oh, and it's like this tribe of sort of like music people that help each other. That's unique. That you don't get that in an open mic. You don't get a bunch of people. So I love that about it. I like what Kim said about it's almost like practicing and playing at the same time, but it's a little more higher pressure. 7,000 said, you know, if you're not busy, you can spend hours on it completely. I just think it's a very unique sometimes it's easy to take for granted that you've got this very unique sort of fishbowl, and you just think, well, yeah, that's how YouNow works. It's really beautiful that there's anything that works like this, and hopefully it will continue to work like this. You know, if YouNow grows or it does, I don't know what it's going to do, but I really like. I think that's what attracted me to it from the very beginning, and still that I love about it is there's this kind of there's a certain transparency, and there's just a certain humanness to it that's a part of the music community as well. And I think there's some magic sauce that allows people to grow and do things. Thank you. I didn't even see who did that, but thank you. Oh, Vicky, thank you. Really fast and really well, and in a very rewarding way, both for the person that's doing it, also for the person watching. Like, wow, like she's way better than even last month. This is like fucking cool for everybody, you know. And another slice of that conversation that I sort of find interesting is like, you know, this idea of like, I don't play an instrument versus, oh, I play an instrument. I think especially with the recorded music industry since whatever, maybe let's say the late 19th century, when you actually had a phonograph, all the way through to now, there's this sort of, oh, I'm not good enough to play music. I just don't know how to do that. And then there's the people that do it and really know what they're doing. And this environment cuts right through that. And it's like, that's all bullshit. You can pick up an instrument, learn a few chords, or play a uke, or play a guitar, or play a piano, or sing. Like all of that, there's people who know how to do it, and there's people who don't. Total bullshit, right? And I think it's put right in its place, like on a place like here, where you can just like, I don't know how to sing, but here's a mic, and I'm going to sing a song. And I love that the space that Erica and you and 7000 and Kim do is so like, there's no, you can sing and you can't sing. That's all completely in your head. And it's one thing to say it or pay lip service to it, or, oh, you can do it, kid, or whatever. But it's another thing to just like constantly give space and props and support and feedback and see it growing. Like that's just amazing to me. It's like, it's kind of a miracle.
Yeah, it's a very, very unique place, you know. It's a very unique network, and that's what I love about it. I think that's what attracts me to it. It's kind of, it reminds me of, you know, how I told you about my travel gauge kind of thing, and that's exactly what it's like. It's like a growth pod for all of us, because there's people that are, like I say, partnered now, and like I started literally from nothing, doing just a few songs here and there on broadcast, and now being partnered and everything, and it's a great pod for growth. And then people now feel ready to go, and I feel ready to perform live. I've never performed in front of anyone other than friends and family, no more than maybe 3 or 4 people in real life. You know,
see,
I've
doesn't
never,
that surprise you guys? If you already knew that, that's one thing, but like, think about that for a second. Think about what we just heard, right? And like, again, that's another great example. Like, I've never performed except for my family. Like, what? But you did that, right? I just think that's incredible. I think it's sort of like, it's such a great, to use a marketing term in a way, it's sort of a growth hack. It's like, well, this could take you 2 years, but actually you could probably get it done in 2 weeks if you just did blah, 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 blah. And it's like, really? Yeah, maybe, right? I just think it's such a cool growth hack for people doing something creative. We Create Now, another amazing example, just ripping away anything that's sort of pretense. You have to do this good or this way, or this is how you do it. I just think that's so cool. And I also think it's cool for people like you that played music before and maybe put the guitar down or whatever. Oh, well, I don't really have time for that. You can grab it, and you don't have to go down to the blah, blah, blah club and be like, oh shit, I got to like know what I'm doing and learn 5 songs and book the show. And then they're asking me to bring 15 people and all this other crap that comes with, I want to just play music for some people. You can just click. Can you guys see me? Okay. That's amazing. Right?
Indeed. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. And it also, it's sort of like it takes a village, and also each of these individual people, you, Kim, Keith, 7,000, everybody's doing something to lean into that. It's not just the tech. It's not just, oh, we can all do it.
Yeah,
you guys are all doing something with it and trying and iterating. And Sam Elliott we had on earlier this week, like so many people are doing really cool shit with it, and it just seems to be sort of figuring itself out. So I'm stoked by it. What other questions did you imagine I was going to ask you think might be cool to talk about?
I don't know. I imagine myself talking about my past a lot. I feel like that's what's molded me. I'd say that, as in like what I told you about, you know, my marketing background and stuff.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so I think that's probably what I imagine.
Dare to
Thanks
suck.
for becoming a fan.
Yeah, thank you guys for being in the room. I feel this is a really good sort of vibe in the room. So tell us a little bit about what you're kicking off number with your, I guess it's kind of a new company.
Yeah, so I'm starting a new media agency on the 1st of September. It will be practically a hub for people that are starting businesses or starting a personal brand or already are a personal brand. Say even if you're a streamer, and looking to sort of get some possible guidance on growth or even just content creation or content management. A lot of individual streamers that are growing, say, look at the trending list right now, you know, a lot of them want to be there and stay there, but in 6 months' time, are they still going to be on that trending list? Or are they just going to be riding the wave of the land of temporarily success? You know, and the idea for the media agency is to kind of work with people on a long-term basis, or at least offer them a long-term plan for growth, whether that be a streamer or a business. Same thing. Like I've worked in hospitality for a long time, and restaurants and coffee shops, and it's the same. No matter whether you're a streamer, selling yourself as a streamer or as a musician, or a coffee shop, or someone that sells bed sheets, you know, it's the same exact situation. You're all just living off of hype and the amount of people that pay attention to you. And as soon as people turn around and stop paying attention to you, that's when you're like, oh no, what did I do? What do I do now? You know, and from a marketing perspective, I feel like there's a lot of resolve in that and what you can do content wise. So I'll be offering a lot of management on content creation, Instagram. I know Instagram like the back of my hand now. It's changed a lot over the last couple of years, but I feel like I can help a lot with creating people's Instagram content and just guidance on that, and guidance on growth, guidance on getting brand deals with people. And so yeah, that would be kind of the vibe I'll be going for. The media agency will be called Yukio Media. I've been creating the UKIYO, like that.
UKIYO, got it.
Yukio,
and how come September 1st, which is super soon, how do they find you on your link tree or on Instagram?
I'll be dropping a website link that people can book a free consultation with, and I'll just get to know people at first. I don't want anyone's money for the longest amount of time. As long as I can sustain not taking anyone's money, I generally just am in it to help people sustain themselves in any way. And then we can work on sort of like a long-term plan of, okay, like, is it content you need? Is it help with managing social media? Is it help with creating a website and getting a kind of funnel for yourself, or a call to action on your website, or getting, you know, that kind of thing. So that'll be kind of the goal. And yeah, I'll have a website and an Instagram that I'll be promoting as well.
That's amazing. What's up, Tyler? You know, something that I've been sort of teasing the last few months, and I think it's something that could be useful, and I've thought about like ways of in a way we're sort of kindred spirits, and I feel like I'm you know, I have enough of a sense of sort of how the more traditional music industry works, and part of what I try and do is just sort of figure out what people are trying to do, and any things that can help get them whatever it is they're trying to do in the sort of more, are you trying to get the song placed? Are you trying to get the record done? Are you trying to get a collaboration with blah, blah, blah? Are you trying to make it sound more like da, 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 da? And so I wonder if there's part of what I've been thinking about for like the rest of the year and into 2021 is like, how can I structure that in a way? How can I do things where those discussions, because I don't personally know a whole lot about social media marketing. I don't know a lot about that. And yet that's often a related component of doing any of those things on a purely musical level successfully for the reasons you just described, that there's this kind of lift that can happen. And yet there's ways of making sure the lift doesn't just like fall back down. So I guess what I'm sort of talking my way through is like, I wonder if there's something where we could potentially do some stuff like on streams together or whatever, where it's like, yo, here's what you're doing on the music tip, and here's what you might be able to do on more of a sort of more marketing-ish tip, right? So that, because I mean, at the end of the day, I think we have the same intention. It's like, what are you trying to do and how could I potentially help in some way? And I just think those two play well together, and it's an area that I don't know a lot about, and most of the people that are, I guess, our extended family and community now are kind of more music minded because of the nature of our stream. So it might be fun in the future to do something maybe we can try once.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, for an example of something that's right in the middle. And Kim keeps telling me, like, almost every other stream, she's like, DistroKid, get someone from DistroKid, right? DistroKid, are you familiar with DistroKid?
No.
So DistroKid is almost like it's a way for someone to get that sort of distribution. I need to get on Spotify. I need to get on blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to get streams. I'm trying to get impressions. DistroKid is just it's one potential way of you being able to sort of go to one place and get a lot of things happening online at the same time. And it's this sort of marriage of like, how do I get the distribution and marketing with my music, right? So we've been sort of dancing around it completely. Exactly right, Tyler. So anyway, I think we've been teasing it a lot, and I love what you're about. I also love, honestly, like looking at some of your posts over the last number of months and whatever, like, you do a lot of quotes, you do a lot of thoughtful commentary that are like, encouraging and positive, and just like, yo, like, go do the thing that makes you happy and figure out what makes sense to you, and don't let other people, and all those things that we kind of know, you seem to be able to remind us very nicely. And I think you're coming from a really good place. So like anything that I can do to help on any of those angles, or anything we can do together, I'm super open to it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It means a lot.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I agree. DistroKid is not really a marketing service, but I guess what I'm saying is that there's the production of music, and then there's the sort of getting it out there and exposed and seen and monetized and streamed and shared. And I think DistroKid is sort of a way to get from like, what do I know, to getting eyeballs and ears listening to it, so we can grill them. Yeah, I'm totally on it. We're absolutely going to do that. So completely. Super cool having you on. Props for the new company. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for bringing me on.
Yeah, completely. So cool, man. Anything else we can help with in the future? Definitely don't be a stranger. Again, your schedule is going to be 6 a.m. Eastern. That's going to be sort of the sweet spot for you, Monday through Friday. Do you also do Saturdays and Sundays?
Yeah, I do the odd weekend here and there, but it's never like it's never every day, but mostly every day that'll be streaming. Yeah, so those times pretty much.
Love it. And for the new music that's coming out, do you feel like that's Do you have some music that's coming up at the end of the year, or is that just
I have a I'm going to visit someone on the platform at the end of next month, and I plan to record some stuff then, but that's a secret because we're going to surprise everyone. But yeah, so yeah, that'll be fun. I'll try and record some stuff then, and if I can't, like I'll do what Kim said and find some people to record. We can see what we can do. So yeah,
absolutely. Cool, man. Love everything you're doing. Thank you so much for being on.
Thank you so much for bringing me on.
Yeah, man, this was fun. This was fun. So cool. I just wanted to sort of say hi to everybody and bye to everybody a little bit. Essence, thank you again for popping in. I'd love to connect with you and talk a little bit more about music and what you're up to. 7000, thank you so much for being here. Vicky, we'll see you in a little bit. Thank you for hanging with us. Icy, thank you for the love and for being here. Tori, thank you for making this possible. Laura, thank you for the love. Yazid, thank you for being here. Lauren, thank you for the love and for being here. T, always love to see you in there. Donnie, thank you for being you, man. Goda, thank you for being here, dude. Goda's a really talented producer in Mexico City.
Thank you.
Probably really, really love your music, and I can make an intro if you're interested. Kim, good to see you. Tyler, thanks for the comments and for being here. And Magic Every Moment, thank you so much, man. So we will see you guys in a couple of hours. We have what time is it, Tori? We have one in like a couple of hours. I honestly, like, this week and this month has been just such a blur. Thank you. 2 p.m. Pacific, which means 5 p.m. Eastern. Go math. Thank you. Thank you guys for letting me know when I'm back on again today. Taco, love you, man.
Thank you so much. Love you back more.
See you soon.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Bye, guys. See you soon.